Welcome back to the JCPod, partnered with Stare Down Sports. Stare Down Greatness. Back at it today on a Thursday, May 1st. Wow. We are officially 2 NFL football seasons away from Christmas. And the great... Actually, you know what? I said that wrong. In the great words of my boy Rowan, a.k.a. the Red Beard, we're officially 34 weeks and 6 days left until we reach 2026. And not only that, we're 128 days from NFL Week 1. Man, truly, truly crazy. This time's been flying. Like I said, we're already in May. May the 4th be with you is on a Sunday this year. Shout out to all my Star Wars fans out there. Crazy, man. Crazy to truly think that we're already in May. Like I said, we blink too fast. All of a sudden, August is going to be right around the corner. And, man, we got college football week 0. We got some NFL. I mean, it's truly, truly crazy. So without any further ado today, it's going to be pretty simple. We're just going to go over some NFL news, catch up on some other stuff that we've missed over the last, couple days, last few weeks, try to pick up some stuff I've missed. And then we'll talk a little bit of NBA playoffs. Just kind of go over some generalizations of these series as we look forward to that moving on. And then shit, man. It's going to be a nice little simple day today. I still just can't get over the fact that it's already May. I mean, NBA playoffs round 1 is pretty much wrapping up. I mean, we got series that by Sunday we start round 2. And, I mean, man, before we blink, it'll be the end of May, it'll be June, then it'll be July, and then all of a sudden, like I said, football's right here. Without any further ado, let's go over it, man. Let's talk some NFL news, talk some of the stuff that's going on around the NFL. Now, I don't know how this hasn't made, bigger news, and like I said, this could have been something that I missed, that it already was big news, and that I just missed that it was announced. The NFL plans to keep 3 games on Christmas. This was kind of announced on, I think it's the day after round 1 of the draft, so that Friday of last week, I believe. It was announced that, pretty much the NFL plans on keeping 3 Christmas days, or 3 games on Christmas for the unforeseeable future, which pretty much means, sorry NBA, it looks like the NFL is going to be taking over the, they're going to be taking over the, whatever you call it, Christmas. I don't know why it took me so... I don't know why I couldn't think of that word, but it seems like NFL's going to be taking over Christmas. This year, I believe it falls on a Thursday, so it's going to lead up perfectly to a game on Amazon Prime. But, yeah, there's some talks even, too. It's like, are the Chiefs going to be on there every year? Is this team going to be on there every year? And he didn't say yes or no to that. I think he pretty much said, though, they're going to try to rotate teams. And it's not going to be like Thanksgiving where, for sure, Lions are going to be there. And who's the other team? Is it Cowboys? Yeah, like Cowboys, Lions, they're always the 2 teams playing on Thanksgiving. Christmas is probably going to change up a little bit, but there are a lot of teams that are excited for the opportunity to play on Christmas, just for the fact of the exposure, mainly for the exposure, honestly. And obviously some extra revenue could potentially come from that, but mainly it's just for the exposure factor. But yeah, be on the lookout for, in the upcoming future, we're going to be seeing 3 games on Christmas Day now, so get those calendars ready. Buccaneers GM's come out. He said Emeka Egbuka was a top 10 pick in their draft. He said we had made a decision that as a group of players that we talked about that we thought could be there at 19. Emeka was one of them, and we had made the decision that no matter how many of that group of players that we conveyed at that pick, we're still there. We're just going to take him, which makes sense because Chris Godwin's coming off an injury. We aren't 100% sure what's going to be happening with him. They also had Tez Johnson that they drafted later on in the round, and he seems like a guy who. He's a bit lighter. I believe they weighed him at like 154 pounds. Super, super light, but he has a lot of potential as well. But like I said, this is a big move. They basically have 2 wide receivers now with Chris Godwin being injured. So now there's no need to rush Chris Godwin back. He can come back kind of at his own pace, and he'll just be another huge part of the offense. But, man, that Buccaneers offense really is starting to get some weapons. Now you just turn to the fact of, like, man, are they I think they have to be I'm going to look it up. They have to be the reigning favorites to win the NFC South. I don't know. I don't think it would be the Saints. I don't think it would be the Falcons. I could be wrong. I don't know. And I for sure don't think it's in the Panthers. Wow. You can, by the way, shout out. This is going to be a way offside topic, but you can now bet on, stage of elimination. So you can say miss the playoffs, losing wild card, win Super Bowl, lose Super Bowl, losing conference championship. I kind of like that. Because I easily, New York Giants missed the playoffs. What's that at? Minus 1,100. Oh, poor Giants fans. What was I going to look up, though? That was the Divisions. So, looking at the favorite for the division in the NFC South, it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at plus 115, Atlanta Falcons plus 230. Panthers are actually third, plus 440. And the New Orleans Saints are plus 650. Man, we're going to have to go through some of these. We're going to have to save that for some time towards the end of May, maybe even a little bit sooner. We're going to have to go over some of these numbers and just take some looks. Because, yeah, Bucs at plus 115. The fact that they're plus money for the division, kind of like that. Especially because we don't know what's going to happen with Michael Penix and how good he's going to be just yet. Elijah Moore signing with the Buffalo Bills. It's a one-year contract worth up to $5 million. He confirmed it on socials this week. Buffalo mainly focused on defense, obviously, in the draft. Caden Prather was the only draft pick for the Bills on the wide receiver side out of West Virginia. So this makes sense. Add a little more depth at wide receiver, especially because they don't have that big name stud there at wide receiver. So get as many guys, kind of like a nice, hey, get a collection of as many good guys as you can. We'll see if somebody can kind of make the name for themselves. Gannon came out and said the Johnson slid. He was surprised by the Johnson slide for the Will Johnson, that being the slide, and the Cardinals were able to get him. And I'm not too surprised. I'll admit I'm surprised as low as he dropped, but he for sure still is the best corner in the draft. But I think the injuries are really what scared a lot of teams away. Is it the foot or the knee? I can't remember if it's the foot or a knee injury. But I do agree, though, I was shocked that he dropped that far in the draft. But, I mean, the biggest issue was it because of injury. Because, I mean, if he's not... I mean, there's no... I'm just shocked. That's the best way to put it. I'm just shocked that he dropped as low as he did. It's just, man, those injuries. It's the knee injury, okay. But yeah, so apparently, like I said, it's been speculated that Johnson, he had 9 interceptions, 3 pick sixes in college. Like I said, that's kind of why he's the number 1 corner in the draft before the injury. Slid in the draft due to concerns with his knee, but again, insisted the Cardinals are really comfortable with his medicals. If he's truly helpful and his career is not going to be shortened by these injuries, steal of a pick by the Cardinals. Absolute steal of a pick by the Cardinals because he would have gone way higher if not. Jordan Travis, he's retiring from playing football in the NFL. Really, really sad, man. Sorry, I was trying to debate if that was actually, I thought there was some more draft news. It was not. It was just something I misread. But yeah, Jordan Travis retires from playing NFL football, which is really, really, I mean, he retires from playing football in general, man. It's truly, truly sad. This kid seemed like he was the best thing going about Florida State. And I'm not going to say he was going to be like a NFL star, win 6 Super Bowls, anything like that, but he at least was going to have an NFL career of a minimum, I would say at least like 5 to 7 years. I think he was at least going to get drafted later, first round potentially, and go somewhere and just, like I said, be potentially at least a backup, at least play 5 to 7 years. But this injury pretty much completely derailed his career. I mean, it was a serious leg injury. Man, it just sucks. I'm just trying to think of a way to... There's no light way to put this. It just absolutely sucks. He got his... Well, serious leg injury, obviously, and just really sucked because you saw it as one of those injuries, just like, oh, that's going to be a problem. And then now, yeah, like I said, he's been, apparently the way it sounded, it's not been responding too well with rehab to, like, get him back where he wants to be. I mean, rehab's a tough thing, man. Yeah, fractured and dislocated ankle in 2023, and he's been trying to come back from that since November of 2023. I mean, it's truly sad, man, just because, like, being a guy who tore his labrum and had to go through physical therapy himself, that is a rough journey. I mean, shit, you're talking, all my buddies are going, I mean, all my roommates are still hanging out. This is just for me in general, just to give a quick story, but it's pretty much like, yeah, my roommates are hanging out. I can literally remember saying in my head, it's just like, hey, I'll see you guys later, I gotta go to rehab. And while they're all getting to, hang out, it's like an off day. We don't have practice till a bit. I mean, I don't even think we had practice that day. So it's just true off day. Everyone kind of gets to chill. You got to go to rehab, and you got to be pretty much in your own head about like, all right, let's attack it today. And man, with this series, like I only had to deal with it for I had 3 to 4 months of rehab that I did. I mean, I couldn't imagine rehabbing for almost a year plus, and them saying like, it's not really responding. We're gonna have to keep going. I mean, it's just truly, truly sad for him. So I'm hoping he's able to find something fun afterlife with maybe related to football, without football. You just hope that mentally he can get out of it. But man, that just truly sucks. And it makes you wonder, like now with it, And this is the other side of the NIL argument that everyone has, where it's like, get as much as you can because when football's done, it's done. Sucks for this kid because, like I said, Jordan Travis has maximized his potential earnings for football, and it wasn't even his fault. It was just a freak injury. And, yeah, now, like I said, he's just sad. So, hopefully some stuff goes well for him. But, yeah, that's just really, really sad story. That's one of those stories you really just do not like sharing. The NFL are... Damn, I might have mentioned that on Tuesday. I can't fully remember or not. Just because I was starting to write the article on it. And then, yeah, I just can't remember if I shared it or not. The NFL is finding Jeff Ulbrich, who was the former Jets defensive coordinator, then former interim head coach. They fined the Atlanta Falcons $250,000, and they fined DC Jeff Ulbrich $100,000 for failing to prevent the disclosure of confidential information. Pretty much, we talked about it. Ulbrich's son prank called Shedeur Sanders about the draft and everything, and it makes it. I really do wonder how these kids got the number. If it truly was from. I just wonder how they got his number. That's the biggest thing that because like honestly, this situation is kind of whatever. It's starting to get to that point where it's like, man, the Shedeur. It's like I'm ready to watch Shedeur play football. I'm over all this. Is he gonna do? What's gonna happen? How's he gonna play? I'm just ready to watch him play football and see. All right, can this guy play in the NFL or not? Because pretty much, it's gonna be a battle between him, Dylan Gabriel, and I would assume Joe Flacco. That's my guess off the top of my head. I assume Kenny Pickett's probably gonna be the backup, regardless. Unless obviously Joe Flacco loses the battle, then Kenny Pickett might become the third quarterback. But hell, he might even be the emergency quarterback. I truly don't know, but I would assume that Kenny Pickett's the odd man out of that group. But yeah, like I said, with Ulbrich, I just wonder if Ulbrich gave the phone number to his sons, if his sons like snuck into the office and be like, hey, look what I got, boys. I wonder truly how he got that number, if it was somebody giving it away. Because I don't know if that's been officially released yet or not, how he got it, but yeah, it's just going to be interesting. Like I said, I'm really excited to watch Shedeur Sanders play football, though. A lot of people, the more it sounds like he's a big personality to be a backup, and that's what a lot of people said. He's just going to be an NFL backup. We're just going to have to see, man. I think Browns are a great situation for him. Nobody's really expecting anything from the Browns. And they've been so bad that truly he has a chance to do something special there. Kyle Hamilton's getting his fifth-year option picked up for the Ravens. The Ravens have declined Linderbaum's, though. So they emphasize their goals to sign him to a bigger contract. So I'm assuming they're going to sign Tyler Linderbaum to a contract potentially this year. And then they're at least going to be working on it this year. And then Kyle Hamilton's probably going to come either during the season or right after. But this makes sense. Hamilton's now 2026 salary will be about $18.6 million. Linderbaum's fifth-year option would have cost $23.4 million, which would have made him the highest-paid center, surpassing Creed Humphrey's $18.1, which kind of probably makes sense why they held back a little bit on doing Linderbaum, because I'm assuming they're going to – I don't know if they're going to make him the highest-paid center, because I don't know center play that well to know, how he compares to – I know he's good, but I don't know how he compares to the other centers and everything, so – like I said, obviously they're going to try to get him a new deal. It's just a matter of how much money is he actually going to make. And I'm assuming that it's going to be a little cheaper potentially. I'm assuming it's going to be a little cheaper than the $23 million that he was offered, but I'm assuming it's going to be enough to compensate him. The Falcons are exercising a fifth-year option on Drake London, which gives him $16.8 million. Makes sense, because signing him to a deal would be massive. But it makes you wonder that would they have just signed him to a deal? Would they have just signed him to a deal if this year if they didn't spend all that money on Kirk Cousins? But I don't know why. I'll admit it makes sense from a business side why they haven't extended him. But the same as a football player myself and as a Falcon, if I was a Falcons fan, I would be pretty upset that they haven't gone to extend him. Because he's been their most consistent weapon. Besides, he's been their most consistent weapon. I about to say Kyle Pitts, but I'm like, ooh. That guy has not been consistent at all, so interesting what they're going to do there. Devin Lloyd is not getting his fifth-year option picked up by the Jaguars. It would have been $14.75 million. This guy was drafted 27th overall in 2022. Been a 3-year starter. just don't know what they're going to do now. I don't know if they're going to let him walk at the end of the season, if they plan on having a young guy replace him. That one, I actually have no idea on that situation. Eagles are picking up Jordan Davis' fifth-year option. I'm assuming that's a guy they're going to want to keep, especially with how good their defensive line has been. Just going to come down to asking price. If you ask for a little bit too much, I'm assuming they aren't going to be willing to bend as much. So we're just going to obviously keep an eye on that situation with them. But Jordan Davis, for sure, at least coming back for next year. And I'm assuming... There's nothing says it, but I'm assuming that's a guy they would want to kind of keep on the roster, especially with how much he's starting to improve. Apparently, Eli Manning is forming a minority group to bid for the Giants. The Mara and Tisch families, who each own 50% stake in the franchise, hired Molest and Company in February to explore sale of a minority, non-controlling interest in the Giants. Oh, that sucks. I was hoping that it'd be a little bit more of a sell of actually. I don't know. This whole ownership shit just gets really weird at a certain point because it's like, all right, we only have 50% of the team, but we control everything. We gave the other 50% between 400,000 people. This person has like 1%. These 14 people combined have like 2%. That's at the new. That's a new part of the NFL, or not even NFL. It's just sports ownership in general. It's just getting like a little bit weird. That's hard to follow. Like, don't get me wrong. It's good for more people to get into it, obviously. And obviously, there's not only going to be every business not going to have just one person running it or one person owning it at this point. But it's definitely interesting just to see. It makes you wonder, like, if they could actually put this on a paper and, like, have you see. It's like, all right, who actually owns the team? Like, in what percentage? Like, who owns it and who actually has control? And just seeing the comparison from all that would be interesting because, like I said, I read this like, okay, he's actually going to try to get a decent amount of ownership, but apparently, like I said, this group, they're trying to get up to 10%, which is a good amount. That's a lot better than what other people have done, but man, feels a bit low, like I said. JJ McCarthy, he's coming out, he said he's ready to start for the Vikings. It sounds like that's pretty much what they're going to do. Another quarterback we need to keep our eyes on, Aaron Rodgers. Apparently, it's reported that he should have an answer for the Steelers soon. Obviously, we're still waiting to see that, and with that guy, who the hell knows at this point? It truly is a wild situation for the Steelers, though, who basically, I have a buddy who's a Steelers fan, and just watching his turmoil with, like, God, who's our quarterback, man? And, I mean, as of right now, it's Mason Rudolph or Will Howard. I'd assume Mason Rudolph would start majority of the season, and then eventually, if it was really bad, Will Howard to come in. Maybe Will Howard starts right away. I have no idea. But I see Will Howard as kind of like their future as of right now, so he's going to be the guy they're building towards the future, which means who do they stick with at the interim? I have a friend who likes that. I have my buddy who's at this point where he's like, you know what, give me Mason Rudolph. And it's like, man, the Steelers are really to that point where a couple years ago they couldn't wait to get this guy out of town, and now with the QB situation they have, it's just like, hey, screw it, give me Mason Rudolph, man, I'll take him, honestly. Crazy. It's crazy the times we're living in now. It's just crazy to think that the Bears I'm not going to say it. I almost said the Bears might be better than the Steelers next year, but you can't do it. In the great words of the Redbeard, you can't do it. The Vikings are adding a 1-year, $23 million to Van Ginkel's contract, which is much. $22.4 million guaranteed. Career year last year in his first year with the Vikings. I mean, this is well deserved. He had 11.5 sacks in 2024, 2 interceptions. Both were returned for touchdowns. 79 tackles, 18 for loss, and 6 pass breakups. He earned second-team All-Pro. And he was top 5 in basically every defensive stat that mattered. So he was a Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know where he ended up at, but he joined the Vikings originally on a 2-year, $20 million contract, after spending his first 5 seasons with Miami. So I don't know if he's signed for another 2 years now, or if it's just or if he's officially like past those 2 years now and he's on the 1-year deal. Regardless, though, I mean, they added him to another year, and it's well deserved because he balled out last year, had an amazing season, and yeah, it's a guy that I'm sure Miami is very upset that they let him go. We talked about the Jair situation. We talked about McDuffie and Karlaftis. We talked about George Pickens. I think we talked about George Kittle. He signed a massive extension. Oh, yeah, we did, because I talked about the $100,000. We talked about Deontay Johnson. The Giants GM, no efforts to trade Will Levis during the draft. I assume Will Levis is just going to become the backup to Cam Ward for the time being. And eventually, I won't be shocked if they officially move on from him. But that's an interesting QB room now that I think about it. Will Levis and Cam Ward. Man, just goes to show you that some of these NFL teams are really, really getting young. We talked about Commanders. This is where we're at. Jaguars are signing Emmanuel Ogbah to a 1-year deal. They didn't get a pass rusher in the draft early on, obviously, so it makes sense that they went to go get Emmanuel Ogbah to strengthen up the defense. Panthers are signing Hunter Renfrow. I think we talked about that a little bit. A nice coming home for him. The Broncos' Greenlaw sustained a strained quad. 27-year-old linebacker signed a 3-year deal with Denver in March. So the strained quad he's fairly expected to miss some off-season activities while he rehabs, but doesn't require surgery, which doesn't kill him for the regular season. It's just that's something to keep an eye on now with Greenlaw because I think he's had I believe he's the one who had the Achilles issue in the Super Bowl, right? Yeah, he tore his Achilles, and he played 2 games 2024 San Francisco after the year before he suffered the torn Achilles in the Super Bowl. So now they suffered a quad injury. Now it's like, all right, now he's starting to pile two like pretty. I mean, this like I said, this is a quad strain, so it's not as horrible. But after that Achilles tear, now it's like if it's especially same leg, it makes you wonder a little bit like, all right, this guy's leg's starting to get a little weaker, but he's only 27 years old. Still should have a few years left to give, so that's just something to keep an eye on as a Broncos fan. But it sounds like he's going to be okay, so there's not too much to worry about. Every member of the Jets fits a new tough brand. That's what Aaron Glenn's come out to say. So look for the Jets to be tough this year. I really hope they are a little bit tougher, but man, it sucks. I want to root for the Jets, but I mean they've proven. I've thought twice with Aaron Rodgers they're going to be way better than they were, and they were horrible. So now it's like, all right, we're going to have to see a little bit more. Shout out to Ohio State. These are some of the teams who had the most players drafted. Ohio State had 14, Georgia 13, Texas 12, Oregon 10, Ole Miss 8. Shout out to Ole Miss, man. Truly, they were close to making. I can't believe how close they were to making college football playoffs, and they basically just kind of choked a little bit. Patriots made Kobe Minor a Mr. Irrelevant from this year. I forgot to mention that on Tuesday, so shout out to him. Quentin Ewers sliding to the 7th round of the Dolphins was kind of shocking. I'm going to go over if this draft news pops up with where guys went and everything. I might bring some of that up too that I didn't talk about. But Ollie Gordon, I thought him sliding to the Dolphins was kind of shocking as well, especially with how good. I understand he had a great year 2 years ago, and then last year wasn't as good. But see him kind of drop like that was wild. Quentin Ewers dropping another one that was wild. The Ravens. They drafted a kicker. I didn't realize. Yeah. So Tyler Loop out of the 6th round. The only reason this is some news is because obviously with Justin Tucker, he was 35, 73.3% was the worst in his career last year. So he also missed 5 of his 11 tries and 50-plus yards, which is pretty rough for Justin Tucker. That's like almost unheard of. He has the NFL career record for field goal percentage at 89.1 through 212 games, which is absolutely awesome for him still. Shout out. But it makes sense they got a kicker. Justin Tucker's getting up there a little bit in age, and now they're kind of concerned with, man, is he starting to lose it a little bit? Because, I mean, it's one of those things kicking. Like, once it goes, it really goes. And when it goes, it can get really, really bad. Eagles are the ones who got Kyle McCord, which I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with Kyle McCord. That's going to be one of those picks that's going to be interesting. I think that we talked about the Seahawks trading Sam Howell to the Vikings. I believe I brought that up already. We talked about Aaron Rodgers getting decision soon. Cam Scatterbo going to the Giants. I was kind of sad it's the Giants of all teams. That kind of made me upset. But I think that Cam Scatterbo is going to have a decent career. I'm just excited to watch it. Him and Nash and Genty. Those are the two running. Maybe Ollie Gordon as well. But I would say that Scatterbo and Ashton Genty are the two backs I'm most excited for the draft. Something that was shocking to me, I didn't realize Jeremiah Love wasn't eligible for the draft. I didn't realize that going into last year, which is just goes to show I'm a Notre Dame fan. I didn't realize he was not eligible for the draft. But side note for college, I'm really excited that he's coming back because I was like, whoa, I thought he was for sure going to the draft. But like I said, Cam Scatterbo going to the Giants, I'm kind of excited about that. But I'm unsure how it's going to go. It's going to be interesting to see what the Browns do at quarterback. I don't think there's really any other big news. Seahawks got Jalen Murrow in the 3rd round. He's going to be a fun little project for him. I'm excited to see what he becomes as an NFL prospect because there is a lot of potential. There's another guy, a lot of potential with him because of the athleticism and all of that, but we'll just have to see. Apparently the NFL is going to start unleashing new rivalry uniforms starting this year, which is very, very interesting. The initiative is for the NFL's first major occasional uniform series. Oh, this is major. So this is the first one since I don't know why color rush was so polarizing. I personally was a big fan of the polarizing stuff, but pretty much yeah. So It's going to be similar to the City Edition and the City Connect uniforms from NBA and MLB. Excuse me. I don't know why that was so hard to say, but each NFL team will be required to wear the jerseys for one home game against a divisional rival each season over a 3-year stretch. Because they can only be worn by home teams, no games will be featured 2 competing rivalry uniforms. Oh, that's pretty stupid. I think they should do it where if it's a Thursday night series, both teams should have to wear it. I think that would be pretty cool, but I like this idea though. Ever since I'm mad they got rid of the color rush, so I like how they're doing some ideas like this again. I like the idea of new jerseys, just for the fact, like, I understand there's some teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers, you don't want to change it up too much. The Green Bay Packers, you don't want to change it up too much, but you can make some like nice little changes. Like I like the Green Bay Packers like green and yellow color rush. I didn't mind that at all. I actually thought it was pretty cool. So I like when teams kind of do stuff like that. The Bumblebee stripes for the Steelers. I'm not going to say it's my most favorite jersey I've seen, but I don't mind it at all. Like, I'm excited to see stuff like that. But the AFC South and NFC North will join the Okay, so the initial batch of rivalries, 2025, will be the AFC East and NFC West. It reports they'll be expected publicly unveiled over the summer, so watch out for that upcoming this summer. AFC South and NFC North will join in 2026. NFC East and AFC West in 2027. And AFC North and NFC South in 2028. And that'll be the last year of the program, and then we'll see if they actually end up keeping it or not. But I like this idea, man. I like the idea of sorry, my foot really itches. Sorry about that. My foot was stupid itchy. But I like the idea of this. I like the idea of having different uniforms. And like I said, I think this rivalry uniforms could become a good idea. Because I really enjoyed the Color Rush. I thought the Color Rush was a nice initiative, so I'm excited to see what New Jersey can come up with. I'll never say no to a good jersey. Luther Burden was a great pick by the Bears, I thought. Shout out to them. I just thought that was a great pick. The Browns might be sneaky decent, getting Quinshon Judkins as well. I forgot about that. Browns, watch out for them. I'm not going to say they're going to be good, but just watch out for them. That's probably going to do it NFL-wise. I don't really think I have too much more to talk about. Lions are deciding their 5th-year options for Aiden Hutchinson and Jameson Williams. One thing I will end with is the Jaguars are going to ease him in the cornerback, and basically they're going to start him at wide receiver, ease him in at cornerback. Not a big fan of that. I thought Ryan Russillo, shout out to Ryan Russillo, I thought he brought up an amazing point earlier. I can't remember if it's from his podcast from Tuesday or whatnot, or if it's one from Sunday, but he was talking, he's basically saying, like, you see it in the NBA, this guy comes in with all this potential, like, he can handle the ball, he can shoot the three, he can drive, he can do all this stuff, and then you watch, and he goes to a team, and say he's like the 3rd, 4th guy on that team, all of a sudden he's not dribbling as much, he gets stuck in the corner a little bit more, and then over time, as you do it, you just lose the skills. So, like, here's a good example I gave was Ray Allen. You remember Ray Allen used to do all this stuff, like pull up off jumpers from screens, dribbling the ball up and down the court, all this stuff. And then he basically turned into a corner shooter or a 3-point specialist and lost his dribble a little bit. And that's something that I thought was a really good point. I think it's a lot harder to relearn a skill than to keep learning it. So, like, if they don't let him play corner, which I'm assuming, I hope they let him get some reps at corner, but the longer, you would want to go the other way. The longer you take to ease him in the cornerback, the worse it is. I feel like you want to start it right away. And if it doesn't work, then you know, and you're like, all right, nope, we can't do this. This is just not going to work, so we got to pivot. But like I said, it's a Jaguars' decision to make, obviously. It's just, if I had a guy who could play both ways, I would try to play him both ways as much as I can. Like I said, he doesn't have to play both ways the whole game, but, like, hey, guarantee him, like, what is it? We'll say there's, like, about 50, I don't think there's up to past, like, 60, but 50, 60 defensive snaps in the NFL. Give him, like, 10 a game. And they could be, like, 3rd down packages, like, just stuff to keep him engaged, to keep him doing it. That's what I would personally do, obviously. And then if you're going to focus him mainly on offense, have him in on every offensive play that you can, obviously. And then defensively, like I said, find those packages, find the situations, like, oh, shit, the other team's in the red zone. Hey, Travis, just lock down this left side of the field for us, please. That's more stuff I would consider, but like I said, we're just going to have to see what the Jaguars do. But, man, I'm not going to enjoy hating Travis Hunter for 2 games every time they play. But that's going to do it for that portion of the NFL news. I quickly just want to go over some NBA playoff stuff and just kind of talk about some of these series. It's like, man, LeBron James eliminated. Who else has been eliminated? Well, let's go over it. Why not? LeBron and the Lakers were eliminated last night. The Timberwolves lead that series 4-1. The Warriors and the Rockets series is 3-2. Pacers win their series 4-1. Celtics win their series 4-1. Nuggets win a huge game 2 nights ago to go up 3-2. And, like, the Knicks play tonight. Pistons played tonight. The Pistons won the last game to keep the series at 3-2 instead of going down 4-1. I don't know why that sounded so weird when I was saying it, but man, Miami Heat just got absolutely ass blasted by the Cavs. The biggest margin of defeat in NBA playoff history at 120. I think it was like plus 122 for the Cavs. He just didn't have a guy. I mean, they had all this stuff. I mean, Bam's good, but Tyler Hero's good, but they aren't the KDs, LeBron James. Like I would say they're the next, maybe even, I wouldn't say 2 down fully, but maybe. So like if the stars are here, like the KDs in their prime, LeBron's in their primes, they're up here. Bam and Tyler Hero are either like at the lower end of this notch or another one lower. They're still I would still say they're stars, but I wouldn't go like the superstar status, but they are definitely still really good. So it was just disappointing. Like I said, the Heat, they got absolutely ass blasted by a good team. Covered 1 game. I bet on them, I think 3 of their games. They covered 1. That was depressing to watch. Those games got turned off really quick. I mean, the Magic just have no scoring. That's the big thing in their series is they just have no scoring. So really, really sucks. They were at least like decently sized and tough for Boston. I mean, they gave them like 2 or 3 close games, but like I said, injuries kind of killed them. Having no Jalen Suggs really sucked, and then like I said, they just shot it 2-2 horribly. But it's nice to see. Like, I won't be shocked now if the Magic next year are a 50-win team, 1-2 seed in the East, maybe even a 3 seed, and are able to win a playoff series or 2. Like, I think the Magic are right there. It's just a matter of can they make the right moves or not. Knicks 3-2 series there. We'll talk about that. Probably talk about both that series a little bit more Monday. Or Tuesday, excuse me. But that's just a tough series. Like watching them actually play. Like I forget what it was. I think it was 2 games ago. Just watching them play. Like man, the refs are actually like the refs are letting these boys play. Good lord, there's a lot of smacking out here and everything. Sad thing for my childhood. Damian Lillard tore his Achilles. Loves watching that guy in middle school and everything growing up. Excuse me. But yeah, it's sad for the Bucks, who now basically end of an era. Giannis' final game ends in 119-118 in a disastrous. That was a disastrous way to lose. They had the Bucks had almost a 10-point lead in overtime, and it was just turnover crazed. And we're gonna see. Bill Simmons said it best. Shout out to him right through Bagwell's legs. That's what it felt like for Gary Trent, who the ball literally. I mean, you can literally see it as it literally hits his hands. You see him already start to look up, and then it's through his legs. So it's the classic look up too early, and then it's like shit, and go back, and then Tyrese ends up winning that game. But shout out to the Pacers, who basically nobody's really giving a shot against the Cavs. That should be a really, really fun series to watch. Okay, and now we'll go to the West. OKC wins 4-0 over the Grizzlies. I mean, that's not too shocking at all. Once Ja got hurt, it was a wrap from there. I'm pretty sure OKC covered in every game but one, and that was a game where Memphis probably should have won that game, but Ja gets hurt, so then the Grizzlies ends up blowing the lead, and OKC storms back. Going to be very exciting to see what happens, because I think they play the winner of, I think they play the Timberwolves, right? They officially play the Timberwolves, and then and then the Rockets, Warriors will play the winner of the Nuggets, Clippers, vice versa. But yeah, so OKC, I believe OKC, they just kicked the shit out of the Grizzlies. That series wasn't really close either. Don't need to talk about the Rockets, Warriors. It's 3-2. We'll talk about that when that series ends. Nuggets are up 3-2. That's just been Rockets, Warriors, and Clippers, Nuggets have been the most fun series so far. One of the between those 2 games, the Knicks Pistons, which also has been a really fun series. One of those 3 are for sure going 7. It's just I don't know. I couldn't tell you which one. I wouldn't be shocked if any of them went 7. But man, that leads us to the final one. LeBron James officially out of the NBA playoffs with Luka Doncic. It just sucked. I mean, it's not too surprising once you realize size was an issue, and it's sad to see LeBron be this old, man. By the way, so officially, yeah, we got. What is that? Oh, so they haven't even that. So maybe they haven't. I could be wrong then. I don't know what the official matchup will be, but yeah. And shout out to Ant, man. Ant's really fun to watch. Shout out to Rudy Gobert, who had a monster 20-20 game. Really shows that the Lakers had no size. Very curious to see if LeBron comes back. One of my favorite athletes growing up watching all time. I mean, LeBron James is the guy who got me into NBA basketball. It was him, Dwayne Wade, and Shaquille O'Neal. Those 3 those were my 3 favorite players growing up. And yeah, It just sucks to watch now that it's just like time has finally. It's like, man, now I'm getting older. Just watching LeBron get older, and I mean, you could just like I said, the Lakers just didn't have the size for this series, which really sucks. And it was funny how it basically went from the Lakers are going to 2026 now with this trade to they're title contenders to okay, now it's for 2026 again. Going to be very interesting to see what offseason moves that the Lakers end up deciding to make because they got a few more offseason moves to make. It's out the Timberwolves because like I said, the Timberwolves seems to be that young team and seems to be that young guy that's like, all right, this is going to be the guy that we're going to enjoy watching for a few more years to come. And it seems like I'm not going to say he's the next one, but seems like he's the one who's probably potentially going to be up next and be the guy that's like, all right, maybe. I mean, and I know he has some character issues off the court, but strictly basketball wise, he might be the next one because he has some horrible shooting nights, but man, that dude, when it's on, it's on. And kind of like Jamal Murray, who, man, when that guy's, you want to talk about when a guy's on, he's on. 43 points, one free throw. Crazy. But thank y'all for watching. Thanks for the support. I really do appreciate it. We'll be back in this feed Tuesday to obviously talk some more NFL. Probably start dipping our toes a little bit into college waters as well, just because there's been starting to get movement there. And like I said, that season's coming up here soon too, so we really got to start locking in. Like I said, June, July, August are really where I'm going to start nailing down some futures. We're going to go over some win totals, props. I mean, throughout May, we're going to start overlooking. I mean, I wouldn't even call it overlooking. Maybe we're going to start peeking at the fence a little bit, because over that fence, June, July, August, like I said, NFL props, I mean, win totals, college props, win totals. I mean, we're going to do it all, man. We're going to break down pretty much, for sure, every NFL division, try to break out teams to the best of our abilities. We got a lot of fun coming. That's going to be, like I said, but that's all in August, or not August, Jesus, that's June, July, August. It's just May, man. So May, we're going to start peeking over the fence a little bit, slowly getting ready, because as you can see, man, we only got 126 days till the NFL's left. I mean, it was, what? Shit. It was just a few weeks ago that was already at like 180, 190. Now we're already in the 120s. And by the end of this month, we're going to be in the double digits and out of the triple digits. And then, man, before you know it, we're going to be in the single digits, and then it's week 1. Thank y'all for watching. Thanks for your support. I really do appreciate it. I will see everyone back in this feed on Tuesday. Hope everyone has a great weekend, and hope everyone enjoys May 4th.